I was pregnant and lost my baby when someone spiked my food. My husband refuses to believe his mother did it. I'm Filipino and my husband is Chinese. His mom doesn't approve of me from the beginning and even told him that Filipinos are maids only. Initially, my husband defended me. He even threatened to cut ties with her if she tried anything. So, she backed off. He proposed and that's where trouble slowly started again. She was not happy. My sister-in-law told me that my mother-in-law didn't expect us to last too long cause she expected my husband to come to his senses. She tried to jeopardize our wedding, threatened not to come, even told our guests that there was a typo on our invitation card and gave them the wrong date. Luckily, they reconfirmed it with us. My husband waved it off and said that his mom is just scared for him, and that I should understand because she grew up in a very traditional home. That should have been my first red flag. But I was too in love with him that I ignored it. I was 8 months pregnant a month ago. My husband insisted on going to mother-in-law house for a family reunion. I didn't want to because of the baby and too tired as I was still working. He insisted because his mom will not take no for an answer. So, we went. Biggest regret. At dinner, I started feeling weird and lightheaded. I told my husband about it, but he waved me off, told me to go up to his old room and lay down. I insisted this was different, and we should go to the hospital just in case. His mom butted in and told me not to ruin their dinner, just shut up and go upstairs. I gave my husband a look and said, "You really going to let her talk to me like that?" He just shrugged and told me to calm down. I did not go up. I knew something was wrong. I called my dad to get him to take me to the hospital. I felt like I was floating, my body felt numb, and I wanted to puke. I felt like fainting. My dad arrived and I left without letting them know. They didn't care, so why should I? I don't know how else to say this, but my baby's heartbeat stopped. I was told the chances at this point of pregnancy were low. But it happened. I was drugged and also had alcohol in my system. But I didn't drink any since I was pregnant, and I don't do drugs. My sister-in-law admitted she saw my mother-in-law added stuff into my drinks and food later on. My husband refuses to believe that and sided with his mother, saying I must have taken something accidentally. Even though his sister told him what she told me, he still doesn't believe it. I reported it to the police, sister-in-law is my witness. I pressed charges, and I will not stop till she's behind bars. I told some of my closest friends about it, they said I'm wrong for wanting to divorce him. But how can I be with someone who doesn't side with me on this? He refuses to believe his mom is the reason our baby is gone forever? He hasn't even acknowledged that she's gone. All he cares about is clearing his mom's name. I'm devastated. Ida? Edit. Some has asked why my sister-in-law didn't tell me that my mother-in-law added something to my food and drinks. She came to me afterward, crying, saying she didn't realize at the time and only connected the dots after she found out what happened. She's only 17. And I believe she was really scared of going against her mom. My husband has always been the favorite child and she's always hated her mom. As for the toxicology report, there were high levels of fentanyl, opioids and alcohol. As for my friends who said I was wrong, they are also close to my husband. And they said it was unfair because he also lost a child. I told them he didn't seem to care, and only cared about clearing his mother's name. Lastly, I may be a Filipina and he is a Chinese. But that doesn't automatically mean we're living in the Philippines or China. I purposely did not disclose my country for privacy reasons. If I do, people will hunt the article down, which includes my identity along with my family's. I know I'm posting here for all to read, but what makes me feel safe is the animosity of it all. I feel safe because people can't find out who I am, which is not any different from the majority of people on this app. Again, I know I don't owe you an explanation, but my life has been a living hell and I have no control over anything now. Update 1. I'm overwhelmed by all the support I've been getting. Thank you all. I won't lie, but the real reason I decided to post my story was because I did need validation, I wanted to be heard. And I wanted to be in control of something at least. But I did not decide to do this lightly. What happened to me was horrifying and I still can't believe it. Some people are saying I'm not showing enough emotions for this to be real, but how am I supposed to sound? Some people can't understand that some emotions are too strong and too deep and cannot be translated into words alone. I may not be kicking and screaming in my post. But I have been kicking and screaming since that night. I'm not going to write out a detailed account of what happened that night just to appease people. Is it not bad enough what happened to my child? And for all who say that my husband is part of it, I cannot comment on this. Frankly, I do not know yet at this point. I don't want to speculate that he is because that only makes it hurt more. I loved him and thinking that he'd be capable of doing this breaks my heart. Some of you have asked why I didn't taste the substances. I didn't. If I knew, I would have stopped drinking. But the moment I felt off, I voiced it out. I was pregnant, some food to me tasted different. I didn't think much of it at that point. I didn't think that my life would ever be in danger. I knew mother-in-law hated me, but I did not know she would ever try something like this. To this day, my friends still do not believe that my husband did anything wrong and that he is innocent and just caught in his mother's lies and that he lost a child too but is in denial. I don't know how to go about this, so I've decided to cut ties with them. But I do have other amazing friends who have been completely supportive and helping me throughout this. I will not touch any more on sister-in-law as she is a minor. Father-in-law is not in the picture. Update 2. It's been the most horrible and excruciating few weeks of my life, and it's finally almost over. Ex-mother-in-law couldn't get away, thanks to my sister-in-law, and the evidence was also found in her house. She finally confessed after a month. She received the deletion sentence this morning because what she did is not taken lightly in our country. Her son is claiming he has nothing to do with it and will receive no punishment since there is no proof. I truly don't know if he was involved or not, but I cannot be around him ever again. I have not spoken privately with him since that night, and now I only communicate with him through lawyers. My sister-in-law is currently living with a close relative. She is safe and I know some of you are concerned about her well-being. I am living with my parents again. I honestly couldn't have gotten through this without them. They are truly my rock. We're finalizing our divorce by this week. My family has advised me to sue him for everything he and his family have put me through. This was a hate crime. I don't understand how a grandmother can do this just because my baby was a girl and not pure Chinese. I've heard stuff like this happens in China, but we're not living there. Why bring your close-minded ideologies and traditions here? Why did my baby have to pay the price for this? I don't know how people continue life after the loss of a child. Her funeral is next week. R.I.P. my love. Mommy loves you and we'll see you soon. Update 3. Things has been crazy and overwhelming the past few months. I thought things were over all those months ago, but apparently getting a divorce from the horrible woman's son took a lot longer than expected. There were so many delays, but now I finally truly have no more ties with that man. That hateful woman is still alive but in jail. She was sentenced to deletion all those months ago, but I have no idea when it's going to happen, and part of me does not want to know as well. My ex-husband, till this day, truly believes his mom is innocent, despite his own sister being my witness. And still we cannot prove if he was in on it, so he continues to walk free. My life has just been a roller coaster ride. And I don't think I'm ever getting off. Losing a child is something I do not wish on anybody. I've been trying to live normally. I was thinking I may have depression, but I also seen people say that depressed people do not say that they're depressed, that they are more on suffer in silence type. I don't know. I just know that I'm not happy. Yes, I got a divorce and yes, she's in jail and paying for what she did to me. But I'm not happy and I don't think I'll ever be truly happy again. My ex tried to talk to me last week, the first time since the incident. He just showed up at my parents' house one day out of the blue. My mom was home and answered the door. My mom basically slammed the door in his face and didn't let him come near me. I'm grateful she did that, but I can't stop feeling like I need to know what he wanted to say to me. It's like I need a reason to scream at him. I haven't truly let out my feelings towards him. I want to scream and shout. I have no closure. Should I talk to him? Just to get a sense of closure? I don't know what to expect. Part of me is telling me I need to stay away and forget everything. But another part of me wants to know if the unaliving of our child meant anything to him or not, if he even loved her or not. If he truly is a monster. Or just really blinded.
Op has posted one last time addressing the support and the hate received. Op has decided to leave Reddit for good. So, safe to assume that was the final update.